with the video. And today we are talking about another 2022 film. We're just kind of watching all the 2022 films at this point that are on streaming because I missed out on a lot of movies last year, and I'm probably going to this year as well. I'm not much of a theater guy. I usually like waiting till it, they get put on streaming platforms so I can watch it at home. I'm more of that type of person. But yeah, it's on HBO Max. I was able to watch it, and I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts. The only only two movies I saw in theaters last year was Nope and The Batman, by the way. So there's that. But yeah, we're gonna get into the plot, the critic reception. Then we're gonna talk about Better Call Saul, and then I have to watch Outer Banks to give you guys a review tomorrow. So here we go. So foodie Tyler Ledford and his date Margot Mills travel by boat to Hawthorne, an exclusive restaurant owned and operated by celebrity chef Julian Slowik, located on a private island. The guy who plays him, I want to say he's an actual chef. Like, he looks like it. I could be wrong on that completely, but dude, he looks like a legit chef. I don't know. The other guests attending the dinner are Lillian Bloom, a food critic, her editor Ted, wealthy regulars Richard and Anne Lee Brandt, washed-up movie star George Diaz and his personal assistant Felicity Lynn, business partners Soren, Dave, and Bryce, and Slowik's alcoholic mother Linda. So yeah, an interesting group of people, all very high class. I mean, that's why they're able to attend this restaurant. And this is like a reservation. Like, you have to schedule this probably like a year or two in advance, I would say. He's a celebrity chef. He has his own shop. He makes his own show, all that stuff, right? The group is given a tour of the island by the restaurant. I don't know how to pronounce this. Mater Dei Hotel. I don't know. Like the host Elsa, who notes that Margot is not Tyler's designated guest for the evening. So it's kind of like a rocky start here, because she's like, oh, that wasn't your actual guest in the beginning. Oh, whatever, welcome, It's kind of backhanded. Dinner begins, and Chef Slowik introduces a series of courses delivering increasingly unsettling monologues about each dish. Like, this guy's clearly, got mental problems or something. For the third course, uncomfortable truths about each guest, ranging from affairs to embezzlement, are exposed via laser-printed images on tortillas. I actually kind of like that he did that. I think that was funny. The whole, fake accounts with, the people, the economic people, Tyler taking pictures of his food even though he was told not to, the affairs, all that stuff. During the fourth course, sous chef Jeremy kills himself, causing panic amongst the guests except for Tyler. Tyler's so nonchalant. It's almost like he's a narcissist about everything. Like, he's so focused on having one of the best 5-course meals of his life. He's so focused on meeting his favorite chef. He knows about all the food. He knows about the Paco jet. He knows about every single course, what it contains. He knows about the I forget what kind of tea it is. Marjame or something like that tea. He knows about that. He impresses the chef a little bit, but the chef is still mad at him because he's taking pictures and all this type of stuff. 1 second here. Quick little loogie. I still have a cough and a congestion, so you guys can kind of hear it in my voice too. So yeah, when Richard tries to leave, the staff cut off his ring finger. So yeah, they mean fucking business. Literally, they want these people to fucking stay here. Hawthorne's angel investor Doug Varick, to whom Slowik had to relinquish ownership of the restaurant to stay afloat during the COVID-19 pandemic, is then drowned. They tie him to these bungee cords and they submerge him into the water. What is going on with my throat right now? Sorry. For the fifth course, which begins with Slowik allowing himself to be stabbed by Catherine, a female employee whom he sexually harassed, the female guests dine with Catherine while the male guests are given the chance to escape the island via a game of cat and mouse. but Slavic's staff catch all of them. They don't kill them, surprisingly. I thought they were going to catch them and like kill them, but no, they want to keep them around for the last course of the meal. So yeah, it's like a little cat and mouse game. They're like running around, hiding. You know, someone's in the chicken coop. Others are trying to get on a boat and paddle away. Yeah. Catherine reveals that she was the one to suggest that Slavic kill all the guests and everyone on the island. So yeah, there's like crazy revelations going on while these men are getting chased down by Slavic's staff. She's like, yeah, you should kill them all. Like, she planned to get these people murdered. Like, she was the one that told him this. Yeah, I don't know why the fuck she would do that. I don't know. Slavic explains that each guest was invited because they either contributed to him losing his passion for his craft, or because they make a living off exploiting the work of artisans and workers like him and his team. You know, like the actor, like he has a critic show. He has a food show where he travels around the world and uses chefs and uses their menu for their own profit to like review and stuff. He announces that everyone present will be dead by the end of the night. Like, he makes this known. Like, a couple people knew throughout the night. A couple people kind of picked up on clues. And now the chef is like, yeah, you guys are going to die. No one's leaving this place. You all are going to die. You know? Since Margot's presence was unplanned, Slavic privately gives her the choice of dying either with the staff or the guest. And when she hesitates, he chooses the former for her. He makes that decision for her. He's like, yeah, you're gonna die with us, you know. Marco, and yeah, let's see, yeah, you can kind of see later why he says, you want to die with the guest or die with the staff, because the staff are standing in the kitchen when the place burns down, and the guests are still seated at their table as marshmallows with like chocolate on their head. We'll get to that scene. That's a very interesting scene. Margot is unmasked as an escort who has previously served Richard and whose real name is Aaron. It's very interesting. Slavic reveals that Tyler was invited to the dinner months in advance and informed that the guest would be killed. Like, he was told about it in advance. That's why he acted so like nonchalant. He acted so chill about it. Things were revealed throughout the movie, and then you start to understand why things happen the way they do, why people act the way they do. Despite this, Tyler was so zealous in his desire to participate in Slavic's craft that he kept it secret and hired Margot to replace his ex-girlfriend for the evening because Hawthorne did not offer a seat for parties of one. He had to find a girl to take with him. He decided Margot. So he pretty much offered to he pretty much hired this girl just so she could die with him. Very selfish, very narcissist. You know, like I said, he's a very narcissist character. You could tell he only cares about himself and his own interest. He's acting very sour towards her throughout their entire interaction at this restaurant. And then she realizes he set her up to die, pretty much. You know? Slavic invites Tyler to cook, then humiliates him in front of everyone by insulting his food. He's a foodie, but he doesn't know how to cook. Slavic whispers in Tyler's ear, and Tyler leaves the kitchen downcast. Who knows what Slavic told him? I don't know. We don't know. Slavic asks Margot to go to the smokehouse and collect a barrel needed for dessert, not desert, Jesus Christ. As she leaves the kitchen, she sees Tyler's body in a closet after he has hanged himself. So obviously what Slavic told him, he killed himself because of, like, probably gave him an insult, gave him like the last straw about his cooking and about him not belonging here. His whole life he pretty much prepared for a moment like this. And then he got insulted by the chef, which is probably why he killed himself. En route, Margot sneaks into Slavic's house, only to be attacked by a jealous Elsa, fearful that she would be replaced by Margot. Like, the chef's starting to kind of take a liking to Margot. He realizes she's, like, unwelcome here, but he can make her a part of something big, like being a part of his staff. Obviously, she doesn't want that, you know, seeing what's going down, seeing, like, this is like a fucking cult, and these people are pretty much slaves, you know? Let's see. So after a scuffle, Margot accidentally kills Elsa. She doesn't even mean to kill her, but, I mean, now that she's dead, it's probably a fucking good thing. After seeing a framed Employee of the Month award showing Slavic as a young and happy cook at a Greasy Spoon diner, Margot finds a radio, calls for help, and returns to the restaurant with the barrel, but Slavic's a little smarter than this. He kind of planned that to happen. So she gives him his barrel, but a Coastal Guard officer named Dale arrives from his boat, but after the guests are convinced they've been saved, he reveals himself to be a line cook in disguise and returns to the kitchen. So yeah, Slavic pretty much prepared for them to call for help, and they sent a fake Coast Guard, As dessert is being prepared, Margot mocks Slavic's dishes and loveless cooking and complains that she is still hungry. She's the first person that truly revolted and truly went against the chef. Everyone was kind of criticizing him, but they weren't saying it to his face. Margot had the guts to do it. When Slavic asked what she would like to eat, Margot requested a cheeseburger and fries. All you had to do is ask him what you wanted to eat, and he would have given it to you. You don't have to eat the 5-course meal. You don't have to eat with all these high-status people or eat like them. Moved by her humble request, Slavic personally does so, finding joy in creating the dish. And after one bite, Margot requests to take it to go. And he lets her go. Slavic and the staff allow her to leave with him, and silently encouraging her to do so because she knows exactly what's about to happen next. I think a lot of these people do. Margot takes the Coast Guard boat docked nearby and escapes the island, so Margot's the only one that escapes alive. The dessert is an elevated s'mores dish. The staff cover the floor with crushed graham crackers and adorn the guests with stoles made of marshmallows and hats made of chocolate. Slavic then sets the restaurant ablaze, detonating the barrel and killing the guests, staff, and himself. Safely away from the island, Margot eats her cheeseburger in silence while watching the restaurant burn, using a copy of the menu to wipe her mouth. So that's kind of the ending. It's very interesting. I really like how this movie ended. I think there was a cool little symbolism going on with the whole thing. I don't know. I thought it was really cool, honestly. Let's talk about what people thought of the movie. Not a lot of criticism about it. 88%, 312 critics, 7.5 out of 10 on Rotten Tomatoes. People generally liked it. While its social commentary relies on basic ingredients, the menu serves up black comedy with plenty of flavor. 7.1 out of 10 on Metacritic, 45 reviews. People generally like this movie. I like this movie. I like the symbolism of her wiping her mouth at the menu at the end, her just wanting to eat like a normal person. She wants an American meal. And all these high-class people came to this restaurant and, under the impression that they're only going to eat, these delicate little dishes. And Tyler being like, oh, you better not smoke. You got to prepare your palate. These sort of things. It makes for a very interesting movie, honestly. Margot and Tyler are such contrasting people. It's not that Margot doesn't appreciate good food. It's just she wants to live a normal life. She wants to be like a middle-class person eating a normal meal. Tyler, he's fiending to be this high-class person, and when he can't cook, it signals that he's not meant for this life. He's not meant to be this life, and neither is Margot. Neither of them are meant for it. But Margot at least admits that she's not ready for the life, so that's why she got spared. I think that's kind of my interpretation of it. I don't know, this is a really good movie. I might have to watch it. I should have watched a couple of YouTube videos, because this movie's very deep. It has a lot of meaning. That's what I like about movies. They have all these meanings that are woven in, and very subtle things, very subliminal things. You can watch your casual viewing things, but me, I like movies like this. I like movies with a message. I like movies with symbolism. I just like cinematic masterpieces. And I think